Hello, my name is Lizeth Leonidas, and I'll be presenting my final paper today based on the movie called Amores Perros. Um, this movie stuck out to me mostly because of the Spanish title, and I'm also like Spanish speaking, so I'm like, oh, this might be like a really easy movie to do a final paper on. So yeah, that's why I chose it, but and it ended up being way more than that because there was so much introduced in this movie. It was really, really, really crazy to me. And that's why I really enjoyed doing this final paper. So this movie is directed by Alejandro Gonzalez. It's a film that was recorded or filmed in 2000, and it's like what 6 years before I was born. So it's not that old. That's why I also chose it because it's not that old. So it'd probably be more easier for me to relate to or to like compare to life now. So this is what my title looks like, or the beginning of my project. This is the cover page of the movie, and then here we see El Chivo with his dogs, the man that I'm gonna talk about in a bit, and then this is the actress, the really she has a life way different than what the other characters showed, and then here's Octavio, who struggles a lot in the beginning of the film also, and then just the dogs are a hint about what this movie is about. Here I introduced a trailer if you want to watch it. It's about 2 minutes long. It's on YouTube. And then I wrote my critical response. So Amores Perros, I noticed it's very, very different to what movies look like now. Um, One of the things that stood out to me was how the film was recorded, if that makes sense. So cameras now are really like still, and like you can cut off many parts of it to make it look, I guess, quote unquote better. But this one was filmed more on like the realistic side. You could tell that they did not adjust their lighting at all. Like their lighting wasn't professional. They tried to make it as real as possible. And I really like that because it made the scenes more real, and you could feel like you were in it, if that makes sense. The camera is also moving with the character, so it's not just in one place or like switching point of views, if that makes sense. Um, It also shows the world in many places as it is in Mexico. So some places will seem like messy, dark, and that just makes the emotions more like intense. For example, in Octavio's neighborhood, his lighting or his environment is more like harsh and like dim. But then when it switches to Valeria's point of view, like her apartment is more brighter and fuller, and like you can tell her lifestyle is way different than Octavio's. Like she's way more how do you say it? She has more money basically. She's living a better life than Octavio. Um, each story has its own tone and style. You can see how Octavio is living a very like fast, young, and like a very risky life just to keep going and keep living and like um try to make it out of the his really horrible circumstances that he's in. So he has a brother. He lives with his brother and his brother's wife and his mom. But you're gonna, in the beginning of the movie, you can tell like he likes his brother's wife, and like he tries to tell her that he's gonna make a better life or whatnot, like wants to make a better life for her and whatnot. And he just starts taking very risky decisions that may cost him his life and other things like that, all just to try to make it out and get a better life. And then here is a Facebook. I think it's if I remember, it's one where they say that no other movie compares to this movie. Like this movie will teach you so many things that other movies can't, and so it leaves a really big impact if you watch it. It definitely did that for me. The cultural significance. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of significance behind this movie. All the violence, all the like the poverty in different parts of Mexico, but not just that, there's also like really wealthy places in Mexico that you might not realize. And this movie in particular takes place in the city of Mexico City, so that's the capital of Mexico, and you'll see how there's so many places where you'll find different parts of you'll find different social classes like the rich, the middle class, the lower middle class, the poor people, like so many like so much poverty and all that wealthiness, if that makes sense. Everybody has a different life, and it's just crazy how all of their stories, like Valeria's, Octavio's, and El Chivo's story, like intertwine, like they're all connected to each other when it comes to the car crash. So there's a car crash that happens, and it just shows how connected and how small the world is. No matter, like anything can happen to you, also, no matter like your class, your social race, like anything like that. And it's pretty crazy. This is an Instagram page that shows all like different types of pictures in during the film. So it starts off with dog fights and like beds and stuff like that. It's one of the point of views. And then here's the brother's wife, and then him and his brother. That's Octavio right here. These are all like drawings based on the movie. This is El Chivo, a dude who's made many mistakes in his past life and tries to ask for forgiveness. And then this is the wealthy girl that we were talking about, Valeria. She was like a really like famous hostess, like on a show. And then her life turns upside down when she gets into this particular car crash. And then my personal response is a very strong film for sure. It makes you feel different emotions all at the same time. So that's why I was like confused most of the time. Not most of the time, but like I'd feel like so many emotions. I'll be like, bro, this movie is doing too much right now. And so Octavio's story is really like you feel a lot also. Like I don't relate to his situation, but it's really easy to understand where he's coming from. So he makes all these bad decisions in order to get out of the like shitty life that he's living. I kind of feel bad for him. Well, I do feel bad for him because it's like he wants the best for himself and his brother's wife, which is like he kind of cheats, but that's why I'm like, bro, like you're doing your brother like you're doing your brother wrong, but you want a better life for her and her kids. Like those are not even your kids. So I'm like, what? And then the girl, like she's cheating on her husband with his brother, and it's like, what are you doing? But yeah, it's a lot of emotions. And then Valeria's story is like completely opposite. Like she's living a perfect Hollywood life and everything, and it all like goes downhill when she gets in the car crash. Like nobody wants to like have her on their shows and anything. And then she will like his story had a life lesson of forgiveness and like second chances. And he tries to fix things with his daughter and stuff like that. And I understand him because all we want to live for is like to be loved and understood. And then this is a movie based on this. I think this interviewer is interviewing the director, and like he doesn't know who he's actually talking to before he wins the award on this movie. So yeah, you can take a look at that. And then my reflective response is like it's all based on love. Like love can kill, like it's love can make you happy. Love can do so many things and change so many things, but it's not always good like it sounds, if that makes sense. They're all the characters in this movie ache for the same thing, and they all stand for the same meaning if you think about it. Like no matter what you go through, what social life you're going, like you're living, and what economic status you're at, like you can end up in the same situation. So, and we all die basically. Like we're all just on this world to go and do the same thing, which is die. And it's like it's really touching because it makes you realize how tangled relationships can become. So it's like you're the outcome you're picturing may not always be what you anticipate. And then that's why, like right here, it says the fateful car crash ties the stories together as a reminder that lives collided in unexpected ways. So you just never know, also. And then here are all the awards that they've won, which is insane. And I'm pretty sure like they're well deserved because this was a really touching movie. So yeah, I encourage you guys to watch this movie and then let me know what y'all thought about it.